Have you ever gazed at a painting, really looked at it and felt there was something deeper, a kind of hidden design choice maybe?
Oh, definitely. You sense there's more than just the surface image.
Exactly. So today we're going to take a deep dive into one specific painting, Edouard Manet's Argenteuil.
A fantastic choice.
We want to uncover some of the, let's say, subtle but really profound intentions behind elements that might seem quite simple at first glance. It's about peeling back those layers, right?
Precisely. And in visual art, I mean, almost every element can serve a purpose beyond just, what it is. A boat is rarely just a boat.
Wow.
And Manet, particularly in Argenteuil, he's a master at this. He uses specific lines, even patterns on clothes, seemingly just decoration.
Right.
But they actually build this underlying structure for the whole composition. It subtly emphasizes the painting's edges, guides your eye, often without you even consciously noticing.
Okay, so that's what we're digging into. How, for instance, a vertical mast and maybe a horizontal line are used almost like a frame within the frame.
Yes, setting up the canvas space.
And then, and this is the really cool part, how these same ideas, these lines, are mirrored and reinforced in the clothes that people are wearing. It's a real aha moment when you see it.
It absolutely is.
So let's start by just looking at the composition. When you first glance at Argenteuil, your eye probably goes to the people, maybe the water.
The figures, the boat, the shimmer, yeah, that's natural.
But if you sort of shift your focus, maybe look towards the edges, you start to pick up on a really strong structural design. Our sources point this out clearly. There's that tall vertical mast.
From a boat, presumably,
Right.
within the scene itself.
Right. And it's not just there because a boat would have a mast. It feels deliberately placed. It underscores, strengthens that vertical edge of the painting, like an anchor.
Exactly, an anchor is a good word. And what's really insightful, I think, is how Manet uses these almost architectural bits to define the canvas from within.
Okay.
So working with that vertical mast, you've also got a pretty distinct horizontal line. Could be the horizon, maybe a riverbank in the distance. But it effectively does the same thing for the horizontal edge. It shores it up, reinforces it, so you get these two main axes, vertical and horizontal, right there in the picture.
Acting like a hidden skeleton for the painting.
Kind of, yeah. A hidden armature. It's subtle, but it powerfully directs how we unconsciously register the painting's boundaries and its internal space.
Okay, so we've got these strong lines, vertical and horizontal, coming from the setting, the environment, and the painting.
Check.
But this is where Manet really, takes it up a notch. He embeds these structural ideas even deeper.
He does.
Because what becomes apparent, and this is what the research highlights, is that these same basic linear ideas, these compositional axes, they aren't just in the background. They're amplified significantly in the figure's clothing.
Which immediately makes you ask, well, how? How does he do that?
Right.
And the answer is quite deliberate. Manet chooses, or at least depicts, clothing with very specific vertical and horizontal patterns. Stripes, pleats, folds.
So it's an intentional choice of what they're wearing or how it's painted.
Absolutely. It's a technique where the visual details of the clothes, especially where you see patterns of intersecting lines, or even lines that are sort of tangent.
Tangent. What do you mean by tangent there?
Well, like a line in the clothing that subtly extends or aligns with another important line elsewhere in the painting. Maybe it visually continues the line of the mast or echoes the horizon, even if they don't physically touch.
Ah, okay. Creating these visual connections across the canvas.
Exactly. It makes the clothing itself part of the painting's structural integrity. It's not just, this is what people wore. It's doing compositional work.
That's brilliant, isn't it? So the stripes on a shirt or maybe the folds in a skirt, they're not just there to look nice.
Not just.
They become active tools in the composition, echoing that main framework, the mast and the horizon, giving the whole thing stability.
Yeah.
It really shows how deeply Manet thought about visual mechanics, how he weaves these basic lines through every layer, the background, the people, their clothes.
The figures aren't just placed in the scene. Their clothes actively participate in building it. It's quite innovative.
It integrates them completely.
Indeed. It shows him extending the painting's formal structure right into the figures, making them inseparable from the overall design. Those lines and patterns in the clothes, they resonate with the bigger framing elements, the mast, the horizon.
Creating a unified whole.
Exactly. It creates this really cohesive, tightly integrated visual experience and speaks volumes about artistic intention, doesn't it? Even a detail like a fabric pattern has a significant role in the bigger picture.
So thinking about all this, What does this discovery about Argenteuil actually mean for how, you listening might look at art?
Well, let's recap first.
Good idea.
Hmm.
We've seen how Manet masterfully used these vertical and horizontal lines, not just the obvious ones like the mast or a background line.
But cleverly embedding them right into the fabric patterns, the clothes.
And the purpose, we think, was very specific, to really underline the painting's edges, reinforce that core structure.
Right. And if we zoom out from just Manet, this whole exploration of Argenteuil really encourages, I think, a different way of seeing not just paintings, but visual information generally.
How so?
It pushes you to consider how details that seem minor, maybe even accidental in any visual art, or heck, even scenes in everyday life, might actually be deliberately arranged.
Arranged to guide how we look or to suggest something deeper.
Exactly. To convey a meaning that isn't immediately obvious. It's about looking past that first impression and actively searching for the artist's choices,
Yeah.
or even just the underlying structure of what you're seeing.
That's a great point. So the challenge for you, listening, is to maybe take this idea and run with it,
Mm.
apply this kind of seeing.
Mm.
Next time you're in front of a painting, or even just looking at a photograph, consciously ask yourself,
Mm.
okay, are there hidden structural lines here? Is there anything acting like a frame?
What's defining the space?
Yeah. And how might the small stuff, patterns on clothes, sure, but maybe architectural details, anything really, how might those details be serving a bigger artistic purpose? Are they creating a kind of silent conversation within the work?
Start looking for those subtle cues. You might just unlock a completely new way of appreciating what you're seeing.
It really could change how you look at everything. Give it a try.